Hello and welcome to the CIF Northern Section Division 6 Championship game on Friday Night Football on PlayOnSports.com. It's the PlayOnSports.com pregame show live from Bishop Quinn Field in Palo, Cedro, California. I'm Frank DiRienzo with Adam Levine on your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com. Tonight's matchup features the visiting second seed Dunsmuir Tigers against the hosting top seed Reading Christian Lions. Dunsmuir comes into tonight's game with an overall record of 11-1, 5-1 in California North 8-man league, while the home team, Reading Christian, is 13-0, 6-0 in the California North 8-man league.
It's going to be an exciting matchup today, considering that Dunsmuir's only loss on the season is when they lost to Reading Christian earlier this season. So they're going to want some revenge in this game, and it's the title game, so that adds some extra drama to the whole atmosphere.
And so it's Division 6 football, so this is 8-man football. And so a little facts on 8-man football, if you're not familiar with it, it differs from 11-man football. The most commonly players eliminated are the 2 offensive tackles and a wide receiver on offense and 2 defensive backs and a defensive lineman on defense. The variety of offensive play in 8-man football is significantly reduced due to the decrease in options resulting from fewer players. Formations usually require 3 players in the backfield and 5 on the line of scrimmage, so we will see a lot of running today.
A lot of running.
And we just got information before the game that the quarterback for Reading Christian, Hayden Piper, is out with a collarbone injury, so they do not have a backup quarterback, so it's just going to be all Wildcat tonight. Now, attempting the extra point kick after a touchdown is rare in 8-man due to the lack of specialized kickers and holders and the inability to block defenders from interfering with the kick. For this reason, teams often attempt a 2-point conversion instead. So with less players, the field is going to be open more, so we're going to see a lot more runs and a lot more passing here tonight.
Yeah, it's a really fast-paced style of game, too, because obviously with it less congested on the field, we'll see a lot more plays. Not a lot of variety, but plays will be run a lot faster.
And so that's going to do it for tonight's PlayOnSports.com pregame show. We'll be back with the kickoff of what should be a fast-paced Division 6 championship game in just a few minutes. Championship football begins next on your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com. Welcome back to Friday Night Football on PlayOnSports.com, coming to you live from Palo, Cedro, California. I'm Frank DiRienzo with Adam Levine on your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com. Tonight's matchup features the 11-1 Dunsmuir Tigers visiting the 13-0 Reading Christian Lions.
It's Lions and Tigers and rain.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we were saving that one,
Yeah.
the 2-hour drive up here, so we should be just about ready. The fans are excited. They're sticking it out through this. It's very misty outside.
Yeah.
It's not really rain. It's more like a mist since we're so far up in elevation. And we're going to be ready here as we have number 32 from Dunsmuir, Dayton Pepperdine, kicking off. And it's a little slippery out there, and he's going to fumble it, but pick it up himself, and he's going to get back to just about the 30-yard line, or the 25-yard line, excuse me.
They do not have the numbers.
They do not have numbers on the field, so it's going to be doing a little bit of calculation here for this.
Slip and sliding like we saw in that last play is going to be something we're going to see a lot of this game, considering the elements in this game. So that's another reason why we're going to see a lot more running, because it's hard to throw a ball when it's soaking wet.
And so it should be interesting here since the field is nice and wet. It should be nice and slippery for them. And so it looks like they're going to line up in a 4-receiver set here. Yeah,
we're going to see a lot of wildcat like we see right now. Seeing as Hayden Piper's out for this game, the coach said that they're going to just throw a bunch of backs back there, running backs, and it's going to be a lot of wildcat style. So they'll catch the ball and make a run, or maybe sometimes throw it.
And so that was number.
Lions pick up 2 on the run there.
That was number 21.
And we'll find that out who that was in just a second. We don't have a 21 on our roster, but we'll figure out that just soon enough. And so we'll go here, and number 23 is in the backfield, and that's going to be David Griffin.
David Griffin is one of the heavy hitters for this team, along with number 20, Matt Prinz.
And so we're waiting around for the referees to make a call here, and we might have offsides, and it looks like that's who it's going to be. And so they're going to move the ball up to just about the 32-yard line. And so as we're ready here. And so it's going to be a Wildcats at number 23, and he slips and falls in the backfield. And they're going to call him down behind the line, and that's David Griffin.
We're going to see a lot of slipping and sliding all over the field tonight.
And so very hard to keep his footing on that.
It's going to be hard for anybody to score with the conditions like this.
And so it's going to be just about 3rd and 7 to go, 3rd and 8, I'd say. The ball's on the 32-yard line. And it should be a pretty quick game tonight since we're going to see a lot of running.
Yeah,
so.
The clock won't be stopping very often.
And so a man is in motion, and it's going to be number 18, and he's going to be brought down in the backfield, and that's going to be David Dinius. And so Reading Christian doing a 3-and-out here. And so the ball's going to be at the 23 now. And so they have a 4th and 1,000,000 to go.
You sure like that. That turn.
Might as well be 1,000,000 because. And so the kickoff. Dinius. And it's going to be fumbled on the play, but he does pick it up, and he does have a little hole to go through, and he's going to bring it back to midfield.
That was C.J. Palmer who, after fumbling the initial catch, he was able to get some really good yardage off of that.
And so the Reading Christian fans are definitely excited tonight.
Why wouldn't they?
As they're watching their undefeated team. And so as we're ready here, and so it's going to be a run out to the right side.
Cedro on the carry there for the Tigers. Game tackle by the line, picked up 9 yards on the play.
And so it's going to be 9 yards on the play.
Why aren't you being charged on Dunsmuir? Why aren't you being charged on Christian? You only have one roster to look at.
And so as they line up in an I formation.
That was Brian Taylor pitching it to Justin Declusen, and he, you can tell that they don't have any intentions of passing this ball, just the way they're positioning themselves.
And so that was a nice little pickup. It's going to pick them up the first down as they move the chains here, and they're going to be down just around the 37-yard line.
Number 30 for the Tigers on the carry. Brought down by Luke Zane. First and 10 for the Tigers. Inside the Lions 40.
And so it's going to be an inside handoff to number 30, Declusen, and he's going to pick up another 10 yards. And so he's definitely a bright spot in this offense.
Declusen is the brightest spot in this offense. He ran for almost 2,000 yards in the regular season, so he's a dangerous one that Reading Christian will have to keep an eye on.
And so he picked up just about 9.5 yards. It's going to be 2nd and inches here on the 29-yard line. And so they have a man in motion, number 24, and they hand it off to him over the right-hand side, but he's going to be met by some defenders, and depending on where the ball spot is, he's close to the first down.
That was Chase Sordahl with the carry, and it'll be very interesting to see just how close he got.
And so it looks like it's going to be no gain, and so it's going to be a 3rd and short here with 7:30 left in this game, and since he went out of bounds, the clock will be stopped here. And so as you can hear the crowd screaming defense here, we're definitely on the Reading Christian side. And so it's going to be a quarterback keeper here, number 2, and he's going to have enough, it looks like, for the first down. And so that's Brian Taylor on the carry. And so he's going to pick up another first down here.
Brian Taylor will run the ball quite a bit. He's the second most potent offensive weapon that the Tigers have.
And so Dunsmuir is ready here. And so 24 is going to be in motion. He fakes it to him, and he slips a little bit, but it's quarterback keeper, and he's going to bounce it out to the outside on the left, and he's going to be pulled out of bounds at just about the 7-yard line. And so he picked up a good little run there, run of just about 15 yards.
That was a really strong run by Taylor. It took 2 or 3 defenders to get him out of bounds finally, and he did a really good job of evading several defensive players.
And so he evaded the initial hole closure there and bounced it out to the outside. Nice little pickup. And so that's what we'll see for the rest of this game. We're going to see a lot of this kind of running here. And so they're going to line up in I formation, if you can call it that, an I-man, or an 8-man, sorry.
We'll call it.
So it's going to be a handoff to number 30, and he slips and falls, but not before gaining just about 3 yards on the play.
Justin Declusen on the carry.
That was Declusen again.
Declusen again, number 30. He's showing off his foot speed there.
He's definitely the workhorse of this offense. Back to that I formation I'd call that a lowercase I formation.
A lowercase I like that.
2nd and goal for the Tigers.
And so here we go again with Declusen in the backfield yet again, and he's going to hand it off to his fullback, who's going to go up, and he's going to be very close to the end zone. He's going to be just about 2 yards shy, and so it's going to be a 3rd and goal And they have just about 4 yards to go. Maybe even 3. 3.5.
We'll call it 3.5.
Okay, we'll call it that. And so they're lining up in the lowercase I formation. And it's going to be a little pitch out to DeCluzzi, and he's going to muscle his way into the end zone. And so a nice little 3-yard run
For DeCluzin.
by DeCluzin. And so Dunsmuir is going to go up by 6 here. And so a nice little drive. It's going to be about a 63-yard drive to make it into the end zone. And DeCluzin, like you said before, workhorse, he's going to be
Utilized quite a bit in this game.
right, and he's going to be a big factor here, obviously. And so it looks like they're going to go for the 2-point conversion, as we said before. There's not a lot of specialized kickers in this league. And so it's going to be a quarterback keeper. He's going to pass it out to the left-hand side, but he's going to be held right there at just about the 3rd-yard line. So good defense is going to keep him out of the end zone, and so it's going to be only 6 points for Dunsmuir.
That was Chase Sordahl who the ball was pitched to. That was really good awareness by the quarterback to get it to him, though. I thought he was tackled for sure, but he was able to get to Sordahl to give it a shot, but it didn't quite work out.
And it was pretty close to being a forward lateral there, but if anybody could do it, it would certainly be the quarterback. He is eligible, but the defense reading that one pretty well and meeting him as soon as he got the ball, and they keep him out of the end zone. So that could be the defining play of this quarter. So we have about 5:30 left as we're ready for the teams to get back on the field.
With conditions like this, every point matters.
Oh, I 100% agree with you there. Yeah, it looks like this grass is pretty slippery.
We've seen both teams slipping and sliding all over the place.
And it's not getting any warmer up here either. It's going to be a cold one tonight. And so as you can, all the fans, well, you can't see it here at home, but they're all bundled up, and most of them have coffee. The coffee smells delicious up here.
Yes,
I wish I had a cup.
We should send Ron down to get us some coffee.
Yeah, Ron, go get us some coffee. And so we're ready to kick off here. And it's going to be number 62, Randy Hicks, on the kick. And the kick is away. And it bounces once, and it's going to be returned here. And so number 11, he's going to be tackled at just about the 25-yard line.
On the return, picks up 15 yards on the return. Brought down by C.J. Palmer and Dayton Pepperdine for the Tigers.
Okay, we had a little fan interaction here. It's getting really up close and personal down here. And so we're ready for Reading Christian to start their drive. They went 3 and out the first time. And we'll have to see if Dunsmuir is going to be able to hold him again. And so the 25-yard line, 1st and 10, here it is. And it looks like a little miscommunication here, but it's going to be a quarterback keeper. And so he's going to get the sideline down here, and he breaks one tackle for sure, and he's across midfield.
There is a flag on the field at about the 20-yard line.
And so for right now, he's up by the 45, and so we'll have to see what the flag is. And it's going to be an illegal shift,
So this
I believe.
Coming back.
Flag on the field.
And so it's, yeah, illegal shift, and so they're going to go back and then tack on yards for good measure.
That's always a shame for an offense when that happens. That was a beautiful quarterback keeper, and
It's a good call by the coach.
yeah,
And he caught everybody off guard there, but
someone moved the wrong way, and
right. And
took
somebody
it all
wasn't
away.
keeping their somebody didn't have their finger on the ground, or somebody wasn't set, or and so they tacked on 5 yards for that. So it's going to be down to the 20, so it's going to be 1st and 10. And it looks like it was going to be a timeout there.
You can view and purchase high-quality action photos from today's event by visiting www.maxpreps.com. Visit maxpreps.com now on your mobile phone for access to scores, roster schedules, leaderboards, and more.
Do you want to watch more of your school's great matchups like the game you're enjoying here tonight? Tell your school to sign up for the PlayOn Sports School Broadcast Program. The program allows schools to broadcast all their games and other activities on the web. For more information, go to playonsports.com/SBP. Go now.
Right now.
Right now.
No, after the game.
Oh, after the game, right. Well, if you feel you can multitask, then just open a little tab there on your browser and check us out. And so it's going to be a keeper here for number 23, and he's going to be pulled down.
David Griffin on the carry gives himself a little breathing room, brought down by.
And so David Griffin with the carry there.
I think David Griffin wishes he had a little bit of longer cleats because he slipped on almost every one of his attempts so far.
And so that pickup was just about 6 yards almost. And so it's going to be David Griffin again, and he's not going to escape the defensive line. They're going to pull him down back behind the line of scrimmage, and so he's going to lose a couple here. And so it's going to be a third and long here.
It's important to note that this offense has only been practicing this Wildcat type of offense for a week or two, considering their quarterback just got hurt in the last game. So they're kind of flying by the seat of their pants with this offense. So they might not click right away, but the Wildcat can definitely be effective.
And so Griffin is in the backfield. And so he's going to go for it, and he goes to the left-hand side, and he has a huge hole to run through, and he is running all the way, and nobody's going to catch him now as he goes into the end zone for a touchdown. Wow.
That was an outstanding run.
That was an outstanding run.
It was only a matter of time before
a 77-yard touchdown run. And so doing my math here, I finally got my math right this season. Finally. And it comes in the championship game. But, hey, sure. And so a 77-yard run. He kind of faked to the right, moved to the left, and he had a huge hole to work with. And so the defense showing that they can be run on here. And so they tie it all up at 6.
He basically broke everybody on the defense's ankles on that.
And so the kick is up, and it's going to be good. And so they're going to go ahead by 1 here. It's going to be 7-6. That's the Lions.
There's your rare PAT attempt
right,
for the 8-man level.
Well, apparently they have a specialized player that can kick it, and looked like a good kick to me, so
let him kick it.
And so the last game of the regular season was also played by these two teams. And Reading Christian came back to beat Dunsmuir by holding the Tigers scoreless in the second half. This is the lowest margin of victory for the Lions this season. And we'll have to get the scores for that later, I guess. But one of their key players, Piper, that we talked about,
he's out.
Yeah, he controlled that game. He had a 341 combined yards, and so the whole landscape of this game has changed since that player is out. And the Reading Christian School has to be definitely happy about that he's not going to be playing tonight because he ran all over him.
He plays for Reading.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. Yeah, we don't get these out rosters in advance, so I apologize. But Dunsmuir has to be happy that he's not going to be. Yeah, but it doesn't look like they needed him on that last play.
Nope. Griffin just duped him one way and then took it to the house.
And so it's going to be a little squibber out in the middle of the field, and it's going to be run back by number 32. So you can probably hear the pep band in the background. They're down on the field underneath a tent, so they're keeping dry here. And we're actually inside in a doorway here. And so unconventional to say the least, and it's going to be a handoff to the fullback. number 24.
Chase Sordall.
Chase Sordall is going to be the carrier, and he carries just about 3 yards on the play, and so they're going to spot it just about the 39-yard line now. And so faster pace in 8-man football.
Definitely.
And as the fans are getting pretty excited here, and so it's going to be, we're going to have to see here because he might have drawn a offensive player off the line, but we'll have to see.
To me, it looked like it was on the defense.
And it's going to be a false start. And so that defensive little juke there.
False start on the Tigers.
And so it's going to be a false start, so they're going to go back. Apparently there's no penalty for false start in 8-man league. Like we said, folks, hang in there with us. We're learning too. And so it's going to be a handoff to number 30, and he's going to be brought down in the backfield, so he's going to lose a couple here.
That was Justin DeClusen. You're not going to see him tackled for a loss very often.
And so DeClusen. And so he's going to be back to the 34-yard line here, as momentum in this game has been shifted. And so man's going to be in motion. And so it's going to be a quarterback keeper off to the right-hand side. And he breaks one tackle, and he's going to carry 3 defenders and make it for a first down. And so a good pickup there. It's going to be nearly 20 yards on the carry.
That was such a powerful run by Brian Taylor. He literally just carried 3 defenders across the plane to get the first down.
And so he's across midfield. And so for the second time today, they've crossed midfield here against this Lions defense, which has shown some holes in it. But they've also shown some bright spots.
Yes.
And so 24 is going to be in motion. And it's going to be a low snap. And number 2 is going to run it himself. And he's going to be brought down behind the line. And so he's going to lose half a yard here. And so not a very good snap there was probably the key difference in that play.
Yeah, a bad snap is even harder to handle when it's when there's a wet ball. We should probably look to see more of the same, just because it seems to be a common theme to have quarterback keepers. There's about 1 minute and 9 seconds left in this first quarter. Score is 7-6.
And so number 24 is going to be in motion, Chase Sordall. And so they're going to pass it out to number 13 on the right-hand side of your screen, or the top, I should say. And he's going to pick up a good 4 or 5 yards on that play. And so it's going to be a third and manageable. So maybe about 7 yards. I miscalculated.
It seems like with these two teams, they either get nothing or they get a good chunk.
Well, and that's understandable with the wider field.
Yeah.
And so we're going to wait here. And so it's going to be a quarterback keeper to number 2, and he's going to try to bounce outside, and he breaks one tackle, but he's not going to get past. Big old 15 on that play. And so Nick Allen.
That was a monster tackle.
That was a great stop there. And so now it's going to be a 4th and a bunch. And we'll have to see if they even have a punter on Dunsmuir, since it's the first time they're going to be doing it. And so Brian Taylor not able to get it done. And so there's going to be a timeout on the field.
That was the conclusion of the first quarter.
Oh, conclusion of the first quarter. Sorry about that.
What would you do without me?
And so another little tidbits for 8-man football here. It's currently played in 22 of the 50 states. mostly where there's a vast amount of terrain between smaller towns. And so I'm guessing probably Wyoming, Montana, South Dakota, North Dakota. The tempo of the game has a noticeably faster pace, and scores tend to be higher, even in high school games. And I'm not sure if there's a professional league for 8-man football. Okay, so some semi-pro teams do 8-man, and so there is a higher level than high school. And I'm sure some colleges do, some of the smaller colleges. And we'll have to... And so we have to wait as Dunsmuir comes out. And so we're going to wait here as it's going to go back, and it's going to switch sides. And so it's number 30, and he has the outside, but he's going to be stopped at just about the 45-yard line. And so they're going to turn it over here at the 45.
I've got to say, this crowd here is small, but they are mighty with how loud they get.
Right. And so we're hearing cowbells and horns, and they're stomping their feet on. And this is pretty much an all-steel grandstand. And so it gets pretty loud down here. And we're right down where the announcer speakers are, so we're going to have to, we're talking over that. I'm sure you can hear already. And so Reading Christian will take over here at the 45-yard line.
And they'll be looking to tack on to their 1-point lead that they already have.
Right, and so David Griffin is in the backfield as we're ready here. And the snap, and he's going to keep it and go right up the middle here. And he's going to gain a couple yards, but he's going to be driven back, and there is a flag on the field, and we'll have to see what that is. But he gets almost 5 yards on the play. Well, they gave him a bad spot. It's just about 3 yards.
Seems like he got a little more than 3 yards on that.
Yeah, we saw that he definitely got almost to midfield. But we'll have to see here as we wait on the head referee. And it's going to be holding on the offense, so they're going to go back 5 or 10 yards.
Holding on the Lions, 10-yard penalty.
And so it's going to be a 10-yard penalty, excuse me. And so it's going to be a first and 20 here. So that's going to drive them back to just about the 35-yard line. And so it's going to be a handoff to number 40, and he almost gets back up to the first goal marker. And so he picked up about 9 yards on the play. And so Ryan Duncan, big senior for the Lions.
I'd look for another quarterback keeper to try to punch it across that first down marker.
And so 51 is going to be in motion. He's going to be the fullback here as he tries to cut back up the middle, but he's only going to gain just about 3 yards. So they're going to have a 3rd and long here, and 10:44 left here in this half. And we'll have to see. They're going to try a different strategy here as Ryan Duncan's going to come out of the game here. And so we're going to see David Griffin in the backfield here, and he's going to keep it, and he is not going to get past number 65.
That was big Jeff Rhodes.
And Jeff Rhodes with a huge hit there, and so it's going to be a 4th and 10 now.
The big 6'1", 270-pounder. I'd imagine it wouldn't feel good to get tackled by him.
And so he didn't find a hole on that one. He just found a big old defensive line.
Yeah.
And so he got stuffed there at the line. And so they're going to punt here. And the punt is away. And number 34 is going to be on the reception. He's only going to get just about 8 yards.
That was C.J. Palmer with the attempted return, but he was He was stuffed real fast.
And so
You got to think that Reading Christian is at a bit of an advantage that they have a kicker, because that gives them the option not only to punt, but it also gives them the option to kick a field goal if they need to.
and right, and it gives them better field position also as they're pushed back to the 25-yard line. So just under 9:30 left in this half. And so 34 is going to be in motion. And there's going to be a flag on the field. It might be a false start.
That's what it looked like. The coach over here for Reading Christian was pointing at. It looked like number 13.
And so it is going to be a false start against the offense. And so that's going to push them back to the 20-yard line. Or it's a 10-yard penalty. It's going to push them back to the 15. Is it 5 or 10 in high school?
I believe it's 5.
5. So it's going to be on the 20-yard line. Excuse me. And so back behind center, we're going to have the quarterback's going to be in shotgun. And so it's going to be caught by number 45, and he's going to run all the way into the end zone. He has one to beat, and number 11 trips him up, and he's going to be short of the touchdown, of the end zone, I should say. But that was a huge run there, 65 yards. And so a huge run there for Dunsmuir. And so showing their speed on this play. And so it's going to be just around inside the 10. It was about to the 8-yard line, and it was a pass, a little post pass there. And so it's going to be a handoff up the middle, number 24, and he's going to be close. But they might rule him just short, and no, belay that. The other referee called it a touchdown, and so a nice little 3-yard run there.
Touchdown's a touchdown.
Players moving across the goal line.
That was number 4, Sean Adams.
And so Sean Adams with a little 3-yard touchdown run up the middle, and that's going to push their lead up to 12 now. And we're going to have to see here if they're going to convert the 2-point conversion. And so it's going to be number 24 yet again, and it looks like, well, we don't see a signal from the referees, and so
Judging by how excited the players are, I'd say that
I'd say they converted that. But we didn't get a signal here. We're blocked view. Doesn't allow us to see the right bottom corner of the field. And so we're going to find out who caught that there.
That was Adam Paul who got the 2-point conversion.
Yeah, so it was Sean Adams that picked up the 2-point conversion. Sorry, we're having a little confusion here. We're limited on space. I have to go back and find out. I called out his number. And so we're ready to kick off here. And so it's going to be kicked, but there's going to be a penalty on the play since it went out of bounds.
That sticks it on the 40-yard line automatically, doesn't it?
I believe it's the 30 in football, or 35 even. But we're not sure in 8-man football.
Yeah,
it could be different. There's little subtle rules like that. But it looks like it's going to be the 35. And so Reading Christian hoping to mount a comeback here as they're down by a full touchdown
They're no
and an
stranger.
extra point.
They're definitely no strangers to the comeback, especially against this team.
And so they're going to have 3 receivers set here with 2 on the bottom of your screen. And 22 is going to be in motion. Number 23 is going to fight his way up for just about 4 yards on the play.
David Griffin, a quarterback, picks up 4 yards on the play.
And so just about 4 yards on the play, so it's going to be a 2nd and 6. As we wait for both teams to call out their plays.
Second and 6 for the Lions.
And so it's going to be a keeper again by number 23, and he does have a block, and he tries to stiff arm a player right past the first down marker, but he's going to have enough to get it. So a nice little 6-yard run there.
He did a fantastic job of fighting for every last inch that he got.
And so David Griffin is definitely showing that he's definitely stepping up here in Piper's spot. And the Wildcat is effective against this Dunsmuir defense. And so Brandon Parnell in motion. And it looks like it's going to be Griffin, but he's going to be pulled down in the backfield. And so he's going to lose a bunch of yards here. Just about 5 yards on the play.
The defender got a gigantic hold on his jersey and just was not letting go.
And so C.J. Palmer with the tackle in the backfield. Can't really call it a sack.
Lions will take a timeout.
And so there is going to be a timeout.
Chocolate down there.
PA announcers.
Called by Reading Christian.
PA announcers talking about hot chocolate. It's making me thirsty.
Snack Shack. They'll warm you up tonight.
PlayOnSports.com is not only your destination for Friday night football action, but is also the place for the most comprehensive coverage of high school playoff and championship events and all sports from across the country. PlayOnSports.com. High school sports lives here. Yeah.
Lives here.
I love it.
My producer is slightly assaulting me.
And so there's some assaultness going on in the booth. And there's about 7:35 left here in this half. And you guys better stop horsing around. And so that's the first time I've ever seen a referee wipe off the flag before sticking it back in his pocket.
It could very easily become a mud bowl out there.
Sure. And it looks like the field is slowly degrading as we go on. And so it's going to be big number 18. And he's going to find some holes, and he's going to be close to the first down marker. And they've been getting him a short field all day. And so David Denius with a nice little pick up there. So it's going to be a 3rd and inches.
They've done a really good job so far this game of putting themselves in a position to get a pretty easy 3rd down.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's 3rd and 10. Excuse me.
We're a little bit off our game. We'll get better.
Right. And so it's going to be Griffin here, and he spins out of one tackle, but he runs into his own player. And so we can credit Eric Hovland with the tackle, his own player. And so they made back to the original line of scrimmage here, and it's going to be a 4th and 10. And so Reading Christian's going to have to think of something fancy here, but then again, they've only had about 5 plays they've run. And so we're going to see 2 backs in the backfield, and so it's going to be a punt here by number 18, David Denius, and it's going to be returned by number 32. And so he's going to get the sideline here, and he may return it all the way as number 22 is the last man he has to beat, and he's going to be pushed out of bounds just about at the 10-yard line, and we did have an illegal clip here in the backfield on that return, but the referees missed it there.
Dayton Pepperdine was the player that brought that back, and that was just a fantastic run. He did a great job of getting to the outside and just outrunning almost everybody.
And so he's going to get down to just about the 8-yard line, and so a huge run there.
Talk about field
70 plus.
Talk about field
return
position.
run.
That's about as good a field position as you can get.
And so they're going to start first and goal here as the Reading crowd is cheering on their defense.
Looking for a big goal line stand here.
And so it's going to be number 24 up the middle. And he's going to be close.
Chase Sordall.
And so Sordall on the carry, and he's not going to get much, just about 3 yards on the play. So it's going to be first and goal, just about the about 3 or 4 yard line. Our view is obstructed here on the right-hand side.
Second and goal.
Second and goal, excuse me. And so 5:20 left in this half.
Got a timeout called.
And so we're going to have another timeout called for Reading Christian, and they're going to think about it here on second and goal.
Coach must have seen something he didn't like and decided might as well use one of my timeouts. Correct this.
And so with that timeout, I'm sure they're going to be developing some kind of strategy here. And so that's going to be their last timeout. And so as we're ready here for the timeout, the band's playing, everybody's wet, they're cold. My colleague has a beard.
And Les Schwab, we take pride in doing the right thing in our community. It's why we are the title sponsor of California Newspaper Federation.
I'd more call it a neared. Grows predominantly on my neck.
And so we're going to have to, Nick Allen and the defense is going to try to put up a stop here. He has 109 tackles over this game, but he probably has more in this game. And so it's going to be a run here, and he's going to be hit at the knees, and that's number 30.
DeClusen again.
DeClusen.
Brought down by Matt Prince and Luke Zane.
And so Reading Christian's been really good on defense. Like we said, Nick Allen has 109 tackles. 72 of those were solo.
Oh,
so 70%. Yeah, that's huge. And so we're ready again, and it's going to be DeClusen out to the left-hand side, and he's going to be pushing, and it is going to be a touchdown. And so a nice little 3-yard run yet again here by DeClusen.
DeClusen is their man, and they're going to ride him as far as they can.
And so the team riding on his coattails tonight as he picks up his second touchdown of the game. And that's going to push the points up to 20-7 here. And so up by 2 touchdowns, 2 whole possessions now.
I'd say during half, which is coming up here in about 4.5 minutes, the Reading Christian side is going to be talking about their defense.
And so Dunsmuir, it's going to be a pass here, and he's going to be hit as he throws, and it's going to be defended. Nick Allen and Matt Prinz on the coverage there, and so he threw it up, but no dice. They were going to have none of that.
That was a fantastic defensive sequence by Reading Christian.
And so Dunsmuir is only going to go up by 13 now. It's going to be 20-7. And so it all started with that excellent return there, and then 3 more plays, and they were inside the end zone. And so going forward here, I imagine Reading Christian's going to try to give them as long a field as possible.
I would imagine that would be the case.
But since the longer fields have netted some huge gains by Dunsmuir.
It almost might be beneficial to give it to him at the 50-yard line.
Sure thing, yeah. I mean, you know, it's a numbers game, you know, the odds.
You put them on the 50-yard line, they can't get a 77-yard
Right,
touchdown
right,
run.
yeah. Can't allow them to pad their stats now, can we? And so we're waiting for both teams to be settled here and ready. And so there's no permanent lighting here. We're all lit under generators here, but it is providing enough light. And this is pretty nostalgic. Reminds me back of my youth when we didn't have permanent lighting. We had to have generator lighting. So this is a special place in my heart in this game. And so the kickoff is going to be kicked, and it's going to be returned here. And he did have a couple blocks, but he did fumble the ball. And
Dunsmuir has it.
And so Dunsmuir has it, and it's going to be picked up by number 12.
That is James Adams.
James Adams.
Big fumble recovery.
And so a huge fumble recovery is going to give him back to him at just about the 36-yard line. And so big mistake there by David Robinson. That would not be the basketball player. Not the basketball player, Ron.
I'd say the basketball player's a bit too old to be playing high school football.
Not to mention almost 7 feet. So.
Yes.
And so that's going to be DeClusen up the middle, but he's going to be stuffed right there. And so there's just about 4:20 left on the clock. Here it's going to be a seconded. So he picks up just about 4 or 5 yards on the play. So it's going to be 2nd and 6. And so with the miss, it's getting hard to see here.
Especially that far side of the field across from us.
And so it's hard to see, it's hard to hear. And so we're ready for the snap here. And so number 2 is going to pass it, but he is going to be pursued, and he does pass it out to number 24, and he's going to be pulled down in the backfield.
That was a fantastic
Nick
defensive
Allen.
stop.
Nick Allen, the one we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, going out and getting him there.
Yeah, he went above what he was meant to do, and he just got him for a loss.
Third and 14 for the Tigers.
And so the crowd shouting defense as it's going to be a 3rd and 13, so 3rd and a mile. And so under center, waiting for the snap. And so it might be encroachment here. I didn't see anybody move on the offensive line.
It looked like encroachment to me.
So they're going to give him 5 yards here. And so it's going to be offsides. Definitely encroachment there. And so as they move up to the original line of scrimmage, it's going to be 4th and 10. 2:51 left here in this quarter.
Tigers will take a timeout. They're looking at 3rd
And so Tigers are going to take their last timeout. Or it might be their second, or their first timeout. Well, lucky for you at home, you can see the timeout. Right, Ron? Okay, yeah. And so since it's their second timeout, they're going to think about it here.
Ron's showing off his funky moves over here.
Nobody cares about Ron. Let's get back to the game.
Everyone cares about Ron. He's gorgeous, gorgeous.
Yeah, right. Gorgeous. Ron, gorgeous, gorgeous. Gotcha. So it's going to be a 3rd and 9 here. So still 3rd and a bunch as both teams come back onto the field.
They'll be looking to get it up to maybe a 6-7 yard gain at minimum, so to make a fourth and manageable.
And so in shotgun formation here, number 24. And so he's going to fumble it on the exchange. And it's going to be 15. He's going to recover it. And so a big fumble there. And so Nick Allen coming up with
that can be a killer.
So 2:45 left in the second half.
All the momentum that they got from picking up the fumble on the kickoff return, they just gave it all back with that fumble.
And so they're going to start here at the 38-yard line, or the 43, excuse me. And so it's going to be a run right up the middle, yet again, by Griffin. And so Griffin's just been purely their offense so far in this first half. And so we'll have to see here if they're going to keep going. Winding down to just about 2 minutes left. And since it's high school, we don't have 2-minute warning.
Ref saw something he didn't like.
And so the ref is going to stop the play and a flag.
I would imagine it was
and so it's going to be offsides.
Offsides.
It's not encroachment, it's a false start. I think the referee was trying to signal. And so it's going to be a handoff yet again to Griffin. He's only going to pick up. And so back up 3 yards to the original line of scrimmage. And so it looks like they're going to have a 3rd and 9.5 or so.
With the way both these teams have been running the ball, there's not much difference between 3rd and 9 and 3rd and 2. Both have been known to pick up big yards on runs.
They do both have big playability, as we've seen in this first half, and so we'll have to see what goes on here. And so with 1:30 left, he fakes the end around here, but he's going to be pulled down in the backfield. And so Griffin.
That was C.J. Palmer who was able to track him down for the tackle, and that was a fantastic job.
And so good read by the defense, and they're going to go back to, it's going to be 4th and 13. So 4th and a million.
I like 4th and forever.
4th and forever. 4th and forever. It's catchy, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. I'm sure the folks at home love that. And so we're waiting here for the punt as we're just about 45 seconds left in this half. And it's going to be a botched snap here. It's going to be way over the head, and he's going to be brought down, way down, just about the 25-yard line. And so they're going to lose a bunch of yards here on the botched snap.
The last 3 or 4 minutes of this game have just been really sloppily played.
And I imagine it's because the weather conditions are getting sloppy here.
Yeah, a wet ball does not help things.
And so that could have been the case there, as we have 36.4 seconds left in this half.
I'd say that was the combination of both a wet ball and a high snap.
And so apparently we have an organist here. We've heard that for the first time here, as we're going to see a timeout called.
My guess would be to say that they don't have an actual organist.
And so both of these schools represent the Northern Division of the 8-man league, and each of them defeated the top 2 seeds from the Southern Division to make it to this championship game. So there's only four teams in the league. And so this is basically the finals, but there's not really a semifinal since there's only 4 teams. So this is there's finals and championship. That's all you get.
1st and 10 for the Tigers.
And as we're ready here for Dunsmuir to start here, and they might want to tack on another football here, and it is dropped. It is fumbled, yet again, and it's going to be Reading Christian's ball. And so the 30.8 left here in this half. Looks like we see number 39 drop onto the ball, and we don't have that on my roster. And so the rosters are a little bit different than ours.
I'd say both coaches during halftime are going to be talking about ball control because they have not been holding on to the ball and valuing it as much as they need to.
And so Ron, our producer, is checking our roster here today. But we'll find out later who got that. And so it's going to be a pass play, and he's going to launch it down the field. And so there's no penalty on the play as the field defended that. And so it was going to be for Griffin, 24.7 seconds left.
That was the very first pass play we've seen all night.
Right, and so 2nd and 10. And so we're ready here for Reading Christian to try another pass play here, I'm sure. And no, it's going to be a running play with number 40 coming around the outside, and he's going to muscle his way up to past the 30-yard line to just about the 32, and that might be the last play of this half.
They don't seem to be rushing to get another play off.
And so they're going to try to get another play off. And so just about 5 seconds left. And so they do get a play off down the field here, and he's going to keep it, but he's going to be tackled, and he's going to be down at just about the 35-yard line. And that's the end of the first half of play. So the Tigers over the Lions 20-7 here. We'll be back in a few moments with the PlayOnSports.com halftime show. Don't go anywhere. Second half of this Division VI championship game is coming up soon on PlayOnSports.com's Friday Night Football, your destination for high school sports. Welcome to the PlayOnSports.com halftime show. I'm Frank DiRienzo along Adam Levine from Bishop Quinn Field in Palo, Cedro, California, which I've been told is Lions Field here in Palo, Cedro. At halftime, it's going to be the Dunsmuir Tigers over the Reading Christian Lions, excuse me. And it's going to be 20-7 is our score. And so 2:27 left here in this in the halftime. And so let's just talk a little bit about the first half, and definitely running balanced here. And we've seen a lot of big plays on both sides of the field. And, what's going to be Reading Christian's strategy coming back into this ball game? They're not going to try to lose the game on purpose, I'm sure.
They need to execute more on their plays. I mean, they had that one big 77-yard touchdown run, but other than that, they haven't really been executing on their chances, and that's really the key for them to get back into this game. And they really need to work on stopping Dunsmuir's offense as well.
And another big factor is the weather. It's been playing a big role in turnovers here, as we saw a bunch of fumbles in the last minute of the last half.
Yeah.
As that ball's getting pretty slippery out there, and so is the field, and so we're seeing people slide and slip, and and it's not getting any warmer up here, and so they're going to have to try to negate that as time goes on here.
Both sides are going to really have to work on holding the ball, because that last 5 minutes of the first half was just very sloppily played, partly due to rain, partly due to just not well played football. But both sides are going to be looking to fix that really fast.
Well, that's going to do it for our PlayOnSports.com halftime show. Friday Night Football return in just a few moments with the start of the second half, right here on your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com. You're watching the PlayOnSports.com presentation of Friday Night Football live from Palo, Cedro, California. I'm Frank DiRienzo with Adam Levine, and it's going to be the Tigers leading the Lions 20-7, and that's going to be Dunsmuir and Reading Christian, respectively. And so as you can see with the kickoff, we're ready to go here, and it's just going to be a little squibber out to number 12 on Dunsmuir, and we'll have to find out who that is. Number 12.
James Adams.
And so James Adams falls on it here just around midfield. And so they're going to get pretty good field position.
Adams wasn't going to take any chances on losing that ball. He just fell right on top of it.
And so as we're ready here, Dunsmuir is going to go with the lowercase I formation that we have coined, which I'm pretty proud of. And so it's number 30 on the right-hand side, and he had 2 to beat, and the 2 bring him down at he picked up about 8 yards, but they're going to give him 9 here, as it's going to be a 2nd and 2 at just around the 44-yard line. I guess 2nd and just about a yard.
The rain is coming down a little bit harder now. Not really harder, but steadier.
Yeah, the mist has definitely thickened here. And so with the I formation, he's going to hand it off to big number 30.
DeCluson.
And so DeCluson, yet again, we've called his name all night, and he's going to pick up the first down here. And so he's going to make it down to just about the 39-yard line. 11-14 left in this quarter. so it's going to be a 1st and 10
Just inside the Lions 40.
for the Tigers.
And this is definitely the way that the Tigers really wanted to start off the second half. They want to continue to add on to their lead.
And so they're going to call the play dead here, and there's a flag on the field. We'll have to see what that is. And it looks like the defense might have drawn a false start.
Flag on the play, offsides for the Lions.
And
It'll cost them 5 yards.
so it's going to be offside. It's going to cost them 5 yards here, as you can hear it over the giant PA announcement. And so we're ready here as they have a 1st and 5, and he's going to hand it off to Swordall, Chase Swordall there, and he's going to be spotted at just right around the 30-yard line, just about the 31-yard line, so he has a 2nd and short here with 10:30 left here in this game.
And inches for the Tigers.
Look for DeLucin on this one. I mean, he's been the workhorse all night, so I don't see why they wouldn't go to him.
And so he's going to be, they're going to do just that and give it to DeLucin. He's going to pick up just a couple of yards here.
I could be a prophet. You never know.
Yeah, you could be. And so with 10:07 left here in this quarter left to go, they're going to start the clock here as we're ready for both of these teams. Okay, I will take. Thank you. And so we're ready for the lowercase I formation to go here. And it's going to be a little pitch out to DeClusen here, who has a nice little hole. And he's going to pick up just about 4 yards on the play. And so under 10 minutes here left in this third quarter is going to, the Dunsmuir they are driving down the field.
There.
And what can you attribute to their success to this point?
They're just finding open holes. I mean, their line's doing a great job of creating holes, and with a wide open field like this, it's not hard to find your way through.
And so the fans are engaged here, and they're pretty rowdy out here. And so a little hesitation on the line, and the snap is going to be fumbled, but then picked right back up by Brian Taylor.
You know, there's a reason why the crowd here is so rabid about their team. The team's only 2 years old.
But yet they have a perfect record.
Yeah, they just started last year, and they're really excited about how good their team has gotten so fast.
And we were talking to a couple of fans here, couple of coordinators, I'd say, that they're going to try to stay in 8-man as long as they can here because their population is growing here in this town. So
if you're good at it, why not?
Right. And so it's going to be a handoff to DeClusen, but he gets hit on the line, but he cuts it back to the right-hand side, and he doesn't have much to beat, and it's always going to be a foot chase here, and he's going to pick up a bunch of yards. He's going to pick up just about 25 yards on the play, and so he's going to be brought down just about the, what do you say there, Adam? Just about the 5-yard line?
5-yard line looks like.
Right. And so
hard to see from this side.
So 20 yards on the play, and it's going to be a timeout.
You know, DeLucin is such a he looks like a big power back, but he's really he's pretty nifty on his feet as well, wouldn't you say?
And so PlayOn Sports is on Facebook and Twitter, giving you news and information and links to great highlights. Sorry about the scripting error there. You can also access thousands of live and on-demand games on YouTube at youtube.com/PlayOnNetwork. Keep up with all the high school action every week from your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com. And so 8:19 left here in this quarter as the teams are prepared and get ready back on the field. And so I'd imagine that Dunsmuir is just going to keep on going because that's what's been working so far.
Yeah, they've done a fantastic job implementing their game plan, and I don't see any reason for them to change it.
And so with that I formation again. It's going to be a handoff to DeClusen, who's going to be turned around here, and there's going to be a huge hit at the end of that play by both teams. They could try to sandwich him. But he looks like a pretty tough kid. He can take it.
Can't be a football player without being tough.
And so the referee's going to take a timeout here, his own timeout. And they're going to start the clock yet again. And referees aren't wearing jackets out there.
They've got to be cold and wet.
They've got to be cold and wet at this point. And so every chance they get, I'm sure they're going to want to keep that clock rolling. And so it's going to be a handoff to DeClusen. He's going to follow a couple blockers, but I don't think he's going to make the first down. No, he gets down to about the 4-yard line, and so it's going to be a 3rd and 4. So very interesting as Reading Christian is holding them here.
The Reading Christian defense has just done a fantastic job on the once they got their backs up against the wall. I mean, they probably wish they hadn't gotten in that situation to begin with, but once they got backed up, they've done a pretty good job.
And so under just about 7:15 left here. And so the players calling for a lot of noise here. It's going to be 3rd and 4. 3rd and goal, excuse me, on the 4-yard line. And so they're going to go up with a wide back set here. And it's going to be number 24 who's going to run. And it looks like he's going to have enough for the touchdown.
Chris Sordall.
And so Sordall with a 4-yard touchdown run. And so it's going to push Dunsmuir up to 26 over Reading Christian 7. And so they have the potential to go up by 20 or even 21 points here, depending on what they're going to go for.
I think we know the answer to that. They're going to go for the 2-point conversion. They don't seem to have a kicker that they trust enough to kick in such an important game.
And so they're going to have that split back set here with all their big guys on the front line, and they look to go up to 28 here, and he's going to be initially hit, and depending on where they spot it, but he looks like he's going to be short here, so it's going to be 26-7.
You know,
so up by 19.
Aside from not picking up those 2-point conversions, I can't think of any way that this couldn't have started out better if you're a member of the Tigers, because not only did they get another touchdown and extend their lead, but they also ate up a good 5 minutes of the clock doing it.
And so that's always beneficial is the game clock, and that's a big factor, especially here in 8-man, I'd imagine.
Yeah, the clocks run a lot faster in 8-man than you see in D1 or D2.
Right, and if you have a 60-yard field and everything, it's a lot harder to move it down in the proper time frame.
Yeah.
And so time might be a factor here going into the end of this.
Yeah, I'd say if Reading Christian really wants to get back into this, they're going to need to pick it up here pretty quick.
And so with 6:51 left here in this third quarter, we're going to look for Dunsmuir to kick off.
Randy Hicks is going to be kicking this one off.
And it's going to be David Robinson in the backfield to return this one. And he's standing there just around the 10-yard line. And so it's going to be a little squibber out to the right-hand side, and it's going to roll out of bounds. And so a flag comes out.
It's kind of a customary flag. I mean, everyone knows what the deal is with that.
It's actually a legal procedure, I believe, is the actual call. So they're going to get it at the 35-yard line.
And it has really started to
And so the mist
here.
is getting
it has become rain.
thicker, yeah. As everybody's huddled under their coats and their umbrellas.
Makes me glad I'm here in this booth.
Right. And so number 51 is in motion, but it's going to be a keeper here, and he's slipping and sliding all over the place. And David Dinius. And so he slipped. And so Rhodes is the one that took him down here as we're getting down to about the 6:30 mark in the third quarter.
Yeah, more and more this field being slippery is going to become a bigger factor, and both teams are just going to have to find a way to overcome it. Neither team can really blame the weather since both teams have to deal with it.
And so it's going to be Dinius here, and he slips a little bit here, and he's going to be tackled. Ooh, big hit by number 13.
Mason McKeel.
And so Mason McKeel with a big hit there at just around the 40-yard line. So it's going to be about the 39, so it's going to be a 3rd and 6. And so under 6 minutes left to go here. As we wait for some personnel changes.
I'd say that this would be an excellent time for some sort of for them to dig into the playbook a little bit and try to surprise Dunsmuir a little bit.
And so it's going to be a timeout. Charge to the Lions. And so the Lions having a rougher time getting it past this Dunsmuir defense. They showed a little bit of a bright spot in the first half, or in the first quarter, I should say, but they've been pretty much stalled on offense. And Dunsmuir's defense has certainly read everything that's come their way.
Yeah, after that 77-yard touchdown run, Dunsmuir's pretty much shut down Reading Christian's offense altogether.
And so with the referee's whistle, the timeout is over. And so we're ready here. And so it's going to be a pass, and he's going to be brought down, and he loses the football, and it's going to be Dunsmuir's ball. And so yet another fumble here is going to give it
These turnovers
to the Lions.
These turnovers are really killing Reading Christian, considering that all their these turnovers are happening in their own territory, and that just can't happen. I mean, you're seeing turnovers from Dunsmuir as well, but that they're not turning it over in a really dangerous part of the field.
And so with the turnover, they're going to get the ball at just about the 28-yard line, so it's going to be 1st and 10 from there with 5:16 left here in this third quarter. And so with that I formation that we've seen all day, and we'll have to see if Reading Christian can stop him here. And he finds a nice little hole there. He's going to pick up just about 4 yards on the play, so it's going to be a 2nd and 6 from just about the 23-yard line, 24-yard line, I'd say.
Dunsmuir is going to be perfectly content just running this down the middle of the Reading Christian defense, just because the only way to stop the clock is push him out of bounds if you don't pass, and if you're not near the sideline, you can't push him out of bounds.
And so we're ready for this under lowercase I formation, and he's going to hand it off.
There's trademark pending on that lowercase I formation.
Yeah, right. And so don't try to steal it. That's our own personal property. Actually, we don't even own it. PlayOn Sports does. So
I'm talking to you, Matt Mellinger, the other play-by-play for the northern section.
And so it's going to be a 3rd and 6 with the no gain on that play. It's just about the 25-yard line. And so it's going to be a handoff to number 30 yet again, the workhorse, and he does have the outside. And so he does get the sideline move there, and he's going to have plenty of room to make the first down there.
DeCluson is just having such an outstanding game. If Dunsmuir continues on to win this game, I think we don't have much choice but to give player of the game to DeCluson.
And so DeCluson showing what he's got here. And so since he ran out of bounds, the clock will stop. It was just about the 6-yard line, so it's going to be first and goal here yet again for Dunsmuir. And Dunsmuir really coming to play. They're not showing. And it could be the inclement weather here because when you have inclement weather, both teams have to deal with it, like you said.
Just who deals with it better.
And it's just who deals with it better, of course. And so it's going to be a little end around for number 2, and he has no one to beat, and he's going to be in for a touchdown. And so it's going to be a 5-yard run.
That was Brian Taylor on the run. He's done just such a good job of running this offense as the quarterback of this team. And that extends their lead to 31-7 here with 3 minutes and 39 seconds left. They'll attempt the 2-point conversion to try to up their point total to 34 points. They haven't been successful so far, but I'm sure that they are hoping that their luck changes on these a little bit. And it's good, so they now have the Dunsmuir Tigers now lead 34-7. And this cannot be what the Reading Christian fans have wanted to see tonight.
And so just a huge lead here, 34-7, like you said. And so it's just going to be total domination here in this game. And you know, with an 8-man football game with 3:39 left in the third, there's not a whole lot of time left to come back from this deficit.
I mean,
and so
we're pretty much seeing every possession, every time Dunsmuir has the ball, they run 5 minutes off the clock. So that does not leave much time for the Lions to mount a comeback.
And so traditionally, at least in this game, we're going to see Dunsmuir get the ball back. And that'll probably be the last possession of this quarter. And the players got to be miserable out there.
Oh, it's got to be cold, wet. I'm glad I'm not down there.
And so it's going to be a little squibber out to number 11, but he kind of must have returned there. And so he's going to be pursued in the backfield, and that wasn't a very good decision there, as he's going to be tackled at just around the 15-yard line, and it's going to be spotted at just about the 17-yard line, and that was David Robinson with the return.
C.J. Palmer, the man who made the tackle, did a great job of tracking him down and getting to him. And you could see David Robinson clutch that football with every bit of strength that he had.
So 3:30 left in here in the third quarter.
We got to give a quick shout out to the mystery parent who bought us hand warmers.
Yeah.
That was very nice of them, so thank you.
And people watching right now probably know who that is, or will know soon enough.
Official signaling unnecessary roughness on the play. It's a 15-yard personal foul penalty.
And so number 11, David Robinson, is going to spin out of a tackle here, and so he's going to pick up just about 8 yards in the play. So a good little 8-yard pickup. Is going to put him at just around the 42-yard line.
When you're trying to mount a comeback, you got to start with just a couple little pickups and hopefully get you going.
And so 22 was in motion, and David Robinson looks like he's going to be spun around here, and he's going to be brought down in the backfield. And so McClusen doing it on the defensive side of the ball and getting the sack.
I think something that we've seen a lot in previous weeks that we've been covering high school football, it's no different here. Most of these players do play both ways.
And so in 8-man football, both players only have about 25 men on their roster, and so it's not
everybody's got to play both ways.
Just about. And so they hurry up to the line here. So Robinson's going to fake the throw here, but he has nowhere to go, and he's always going to be creamed by McClusen. DeClusen, excuse me.
DeClusen is just doing it on both ends, just having an outstanding game overall.
And so with under 2 minutes left in the third quarter, I think it's safe to say that DeClusen will be probably our player of the game so far, regardless if they win or lose here.
He has just been all over this game.
Right, he's definitely the MVP of this game. I guess it would be an MVP since the championship. So
it would be.
That's a good time to come up big for your club. And so they're going to get into the punt formation here. And so the kick is up. And it didn't go very far, and it's going to be out just around midfield, just about the 49-yard line. So they didn't get it out of their territory. But Dunsmuir will take over.
That punt was indicative of a cold, wet ball.
It just kind of flopped out there.
Yeah. Last week when we were in Willows, we talked about how heavy that ball feels when it gets cold because it expands. It's like kicking a brick.
Yeah, and also when it's that cold, it has no give on it, so it's like kicking a cement, Well, I guess a brick.
I'd say
cinder brick.
Let's go with cinder block.
A cylindrical concrete. How about that?
We'll go with that.
Yeah. A cylindrical concrete. What am I talking about? Okay, and so DeClusen out to the right-hand side, and so he can pick up just about a yard.
That was actually Dayton Pepperdine with that.
Oh, Pepperdine. Excuse me. Been calling his name so much, it's just kind of second nature now.
Yeah, whenever we see someone around, we assume it's DeClusen.
And so the fans have
pleading
hushed.
With their team. Pleading with their
Over
team
here.
not to give up.
And so under a minute here, and now they're starting to get into it. As you can hear in the background, you probably can't hear me anymore. I can't hear myself. And so it's going to be a handoff to DeClusen here again. Number 30, right? DeClusen? Yeah, I got it. And he's going to pick up a bunch of yards here. And so it's going to be a 2nd and 2. I'd say just around the 42-yard line. And so he picked up 6 yards on the play, and so it's going to be about 18 seconds and just about 10 seconds left here in this quarter. And they might not get a play off here. And so we'll be waiting.
I think they're going to be content just to take this into the fourth quarter.
And so they're going to take it into the fourth quarter. And so now that it's the fourth quarter, it's going to be Dunsmuir 34-7.
That's the end of the quarter.
And so they're going to switch sides of the field here. And so when we last left, it was going to be Dunsmuir is just dominating every aspect of this game so far.
Yeah, they've done a really good job of continuing their success from the first half.
And so they proved that they can overcome the weather and overcome this team, because it was looking like the Lions were a better team offensively and defensively. But like we said before, Reading Christian lost one of their big players, and so that could be a factor.
And one of my favorite sayings in sports is that's why we play the game.
And that's exactly why we play the game. And a lot of the times, it's the underdog that takes the championship. And so you know, it's always nice to see that happen, but for these Reading Christian fans,
They're
it's
not
got to
wanting-
be, it's going to be a heartbreaker
Yes, it will
here. And so number 24 is going to carry it there. So Sordal is going to carry it here, but it is going to go to fourth down in just about 2. And so the fourth quarter has started rather quickly here. They didn't take as much time between that quarter because I think it's getting cold out there.
Yeah, they want to get this thing going.
And so Dunsmuir back, and they are going to punt it, and he does punt it
That was a pretty good punt.
back to David Robinson. And so he's going to try to run here, and he's going to be tackled pretty hard
That
there
was
by
a
15.
hard hit by Cody Hagedon.
And so Robinson's going to be laid out by Hagedon,
That was one of the harder hits we've seen all night.
and so just completely blindsided him on the right-hand side. And so it's going to be spotted at just around the 21-yard line. And so 11-14 left in this quarter, and Reading Christian's going to have to do a whole lot to come back in this one.
Their passing isn't their thing, but I think they're going to need to look downfield a few times to try to get something going.
And so David Griffin in the backfield. And he's going to have a keeper here to the right-hand side, and he does have speed, but he's going to be brought down not before picking up just about 3 yards on the play.
That was Hagedon again with the tackle, and it was a really a hard one and a good one.
Griffin picks up about 1.5 yards on that run.
And so Reading Christian trying to strategize here.
Strategize.
Strategery.
Strategery.
Yeah.
Show off their strategery.
And so it's going to be a handoff, a keeper up the middle.
Griffin tries to take it up the middle. And runs into James Adams. And Jeff Rhodes for the Tigers.
And so David Griffin up the middle is not going to net that many yards, and so it's going to be a 3rd and 7, I'd say. 3rd and 7?
3rd and 7, yeah.
Yeah, sure. Oh, yeah. Yeah, sure. 3rd and 7.
You betcha, don't you know?
Yeah, you betcha. Because apparently we're covering the championship in Minnesota. And I apologize to any Minnesotan who's listening to this right now with our terrible accents. And so it's going to be passed out to the right-hand side, but it's going to be defended quite nicely by number 13.
Mason McKeel.
And so McKeel
Great
getting
job.
his hand on there. And so it's going to be a 4th and 7, 4th and 6 even.
These cornerbacks haven't had much to do all night, but it's a good thing that McKeel was ready when it was passed to him. Well, not to him, to his defender. To his offensive player.
Okay, there we go.
Not making
Yeah,
any sense.
catch up here. Catch up there. And so it's going to be a punt here, and the punt is up, and that's one of the better punts of the night. And number 34 is back to receive it. And he's going to try to pick it up, and he might not have possession here. Reading Christian might have gained back possession, and
they did.
they will give it back to him. And so he botched the fumble, or he botched the return there.
CJ Palmer needs to realize that he's the one who botched that return. When you're up by 27 points, once it hits the ground, just fall on it.
And so Reading Christian's going to take over at just about the 26-yard line, or 32-yard line, excuse me. So 32 yards to go to push it up to a 20-point game.
I guess that's one way to advance the ball.
And so they're going to go with a pass here, and he's going to pass it out, and it's going to be intercepted by number 34.
That was C.J. Palmer making up for his previous mistake.
And so C.J. Palmer gets the ball right back.
He says, "You know what? My bad. I'll fix this. I'll go up and get this."
And so we'll have to wait for Dunsmuir to quickly try to make a play here. I'm sure they didn't expect they were going to be on the field one play later.
Yeah. One thing that's really affecting Reading Christian with the loss of their quarterback, they averaged 100 yards per game in the air.
And he did.
And that was all him. And taking him out of this game takes like a third of their offense out of the game.
And so DeClusen up the middle is only going to pick up just about a couple of yards here. And so it's going to be a 2nd and 7. So he picked up 3 as the clock keeps winding out here. Just about 9 minutes left in this game.
Their strategy is going to be keep it on the ground.
And so number 2 with the keeper, and he does have the outside, and he's going to be brought down by Robinson.
Brian Taylor does have legs. He's not just a game manager. He can run the ball.
And so he's going to get enough for the first down. And they're going to put him at just around the 20-yard line. So a nice little pickup. Oh, I'm sorry. They're going to spot him back at before the 20-yard line. So it's going to be a 3rd and short here.
Look for DeLucin on this one.
And we've seen the referees have questionable
spotting
of the ball. And so 8:42 left on the clock as it stopped here as he got out of bounds. And so we're looking for that same eye set here, and it's going to be DeClusen up the middle, and he's going to definitely have the first down and then some, and he's going to come up just about the 26-yard line.
They got the first down. They just needed an extra play.
And so DeClusen running again, and I can notice that he's walking a little gingerly out there. And so maybe the cold weather having a little effect on those joints. And so the Tigers are going to take a timeout.
He may be a little banged up, but I don't think there's any way he's going to leave this game.
And since there's only 8:37 left here in this game, we want you to stay tuned for the PlayOnSports.com postgame show, where we select our player of the game as well as wrap up all the action from this ball game that's coming up following the game on your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com. And so I believe that's the USC marching band playing Boot Scoot Boogie here.
You know, it's not uncommon for high schools to take college songs that they play. My high school in pep band, we played the Notre Dame fight song.
And so he's going to hand it off to DeClusen here again, but he's going to get no gain on the play, so it's going to be a 2nd and 10 under 8:30 left in the game. And so I think it's a fair assessment that we named DeClusen,
yes,
our player of the game.
There's really no other candidate for the title.
I mean, there's no one that even comes close. He has over 100 yards rushing. He has 3 touchdowns, if I'm correct.
And a couple big sacks.
And so he gets pulled down again. He only picked up a couple of yards there, so it's going to be a 3rd and long. Under 8 minutes left to go here. And so they're taking a long time to huddle up here, but may just to be wind down the clock.
They want to soak up as much of this clock as they possibly can.
And so they're taking their time up to that line, and so it's going to be a 3rd and 7 on the 27. And he's going to toss it out to DeClusen out on the right-hand side, and he gets past one defender, gets past 2, and he's going to pick up another 4 yards. And so it's going to be a 4th and manageable, 4th and 4, just about, with 7 minutes left. And so you think they're going to go for it? And
looks like they are.
And I'm pretty sure they're going to, as they want to keep this clock running and get out of here.
At this point, they know that if they can pick up the first down, then that's great. But even if they don't and give up really good field position, then they're still in a really good position score-wise.
And so he fumbles the ball at one point, and he still turns it into a positive gain. But we're going to have to see here because he's really close to the first down marker. And so we're going to have to see if they're going to give it to him or not. And like we said before, they've had. And so he's going to call out the chain gang.
Officials are asking for the chains to come across and measure.
First time we've seen this.
And so this is the first time we've seen the chain gang come out here, and we'll have to make our determination shortly.
It's very close either way. I'm not sure.
And so we're looking for a measurement here. And so it's going to be 4th and inches. And so, in my opinion, I think he picked up the first down, but this ball spotting has been questionable at best. Yeah, spotty spotting here. So.
Correction. Turn the ball over on downs. Be 1st and 10 for the Lions.
And so.
Come up about 4 inches short on that right.
So they come up just inches short, and they give it right back to Reading Christian on the 31-yard line. So 6:33 left in the game.
Reading Christian will be looking to get going because they're the Lions, and Lions have pride.
And so last time they had Ryan Duncan out there trying to pass. And so it looks like Ryan Duncan's going to be under center here. And it's going to be a keeper up the middle. And they're not getting him down. He's a big boy. And he's still pushing. And he's going to pick up just about 7 yards on the play. Maybe even 8 or 9.
That kind of reminded me of a rugby scrum with both teams just pushing on the entire
I'm not
other
familiar
side.
with that term.
Are you serious?
No. Yes, I am. I have no idea. But whatever. A scrum?
A scrum. The ball's in the middle. Both teams are pushing up against each other to try to get position with the ball.
Now in the I know in professional football that is not allowed.
It is not.
No, it is a penalty if you try to push somebody over the line. And I forget what they call that. They call that assisting the runner. Thank you very much. That'll work. I'll buy that.
I find it kind of strange that in high school football, assisting the runner is legal, but athletic plays are illegal.
Hey, you know, that's a different topic for another.
Yeah.
That's beyond the scope
Yes.
of our game here.
Yes.
And so it looks like they're playing the Ghostbuster theme here, one of my personal faves. 6:22 left in the game as Reading Christian's ready yet again. And so they picked up the first down on that one. And so it's going to be the scrum style play here. And they open it up to the outside, and Duncan is running. And he's finally going to be brought down. And so another pickup of 15 yards. And so
it took a little while, but their offense seems to have woken up a little bit.
And so that's the first time in this game that we've seen him gain a lot of yards in 2 plays. And so it's going to be a 1st and goal at just about the, I'd say, 7-yard line, maybe even the 9. And so we're ready here. And so it's going to be Duncan yet again, and he's going to pretty much fall forward a couple of yards here at just about the 6-yard line, so a pickup of 3. And so under 6 minutes left to go here.
Dunsmuir is perfectly happy letting them pick up 3 as long as it stays in bounds.
And so Duncan maybe hurt on the play as he's coming out here. And so it's going to be Griffin under center. And he's having a lot more success as he pushes through for a touchdown. And so that's going to put him up to 13. And so a nice little 6-yard run there. Wasn't all that impressive, but it got the job done.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how it gets in there as long as it does.
And so that's going to make the Reading Christian folks here pretty happy.
At this point, it's mostly a consolation score, but
the higher you can get it, the better it is.
The better you feel about it.
Right.
Yes.
And so it's going to be another one of those keepers up the middle, but it looks like they're going to spot him just short. Oh, and they're going to give it to him. And so it's going to be a 15-34 now. And so all hope is pretty much lost in this game. I mean, barring
something very strange happening.
About 3 turnovers in a row, I'd say, from Dunsmuir. And they got that touchdown very quickly, actually, under 2 minutes. And so we'll have to see what their strategy is. Let's play a little Doobie Brothers here. And we can't help not hear it because the speakers are right next to our ears.
I'm sure the people at home are hearing it too.
No, I'm sure.
They're probably doing a little jig while at home.
I'm not sure if that's copied under copyright, but we'll see. We'll see when we get a call tomorrow from the FCC. As we're ready here, and it looks like Luke Verhoog is going to do a little squibber here, and they're going to do the onside, and I'm sorry, no dice there as Dunsmuir is going to fall on the ball.
That was an extremely
and so
close
DeClusen
call.
falling on the ball past midfield.
That had Dunsmuir fans holding their breath. Not very often that you see a onside kick successful, and I frankly thought it was going to be successful there.
So it looked to be successful there, but it got kicked off a player. And nobody was in the backfield to snatch it here. So 5:14 left here, and fans are getting loud, and DeClusen is going to try to shake a couple defenders here, and he does as he picks up 4 yards on the play.
There's no such thing as an easy tackle when DeClusen is involved, is the one running the ball.
So under 5 minutes as the referee tries to dry off the ball as much as he can. And so the fans getting loud here. That clock keeps on him moving. And so Dunsmuir ready. And he's going to hand it off to DeClusen, who's got almost all of the workload here today. And he's going to pick up another 3 yards here. And so they're going to be short of the first down, but it's going to be a 3rd and short. So very manageable.
3 yards here, 3 yards there. Gets the job done.
DeClusen picks up another 3 yards for the Tigers. 3rd and 4.
And so the fans still very much in this one.
It shows how much they love this team. They, no one's even thinking about leaving yet.
So 4 minutes left to go. And so they're going to hand it off yet again to DeClusen. And he looks like he's going to have enough for the first down. And so they're running off a whole bunch of the clock here.
Well, the clock will stop there for the
right
to move.
Of course. I always forget that in high school football and college.
So that's another one of those strange things that happens in lower levels but not in the pros.
Right. And it's just subtle differences like that. And especially in this 8-man game. A lot of subtle differences, but it's just mostly the run game like we talked about.
More or less, though, football is the same no matter where you go. It's football.
And so there's going to be a fumble on the play, and we're going to have to see who they give it to. And so it's going to be Reading Christian's ball. And so another turnover here is going to give him the ball at just about the 37-yard line.
Turnovers have really been the story of this game so far.
So a lot of turnovers here. This wet and cold weather. And I'm sorry. Yeah, it's about the 37-yard line. I was right.
You're good.
Okay, I'm good. And so Reading Christian takes over here with 3:11 left in the game. And they're going to do the little scrum play there, as you like to call it. And he's only going to pick up just about 1.5 yards.
Become pretty popular with this Reading Christian team.
Griffin on the carry picks up 2 yards on the play. 2nd and 8.
And so it's going to be 2nd and 8 on the 38 now. So he only picked up just about 1 yard there. And so they're going to try to push him there. And somebody lost their footing down there. And it's going to be number 65 for Dunsmuir, Jeff Rhodes. And so he was trying to push, but he had no footing. And so they kind of slid him back there at the back of the pile. And so just about 2 minutes left in the game, and so these fans are going to go home disappointed here after a great season. They're going to win 13 games in a row, then lose the last one.
But you know what? It's only a 2-year-old program, so if the last 2 seasons have been any indicator, lots of good things to come for this Reading Christian Lions team.
And so it's going to be a timeout for the Lions. And so under 2 minutes here. And let's just talk a little bit more about our player of the game, DeClusen.
He's a beast.
He was just in beast mode tonight.
Yeah, he was
a little Marshawn Lynch action.
Yeah, he wasn't going to let his team lose this game. He just came in with a head of steam and never lost it.
And so Dunsmuir looks like they're going to clinch the title here of this eight-man football league. And we'll have to find out the exact number of teams that are in the league.
Our producer's telling us that there are 12 total teams in this section.
Okay, 6 from the north and 6 from the south, so I recant my earlier statement before. And so Dunsmuir is going to win it all here tonight. And so as they're back on the line here, we're getting ready to get started. And it's going to be a handoff out to the right-hand side. Miller, but he's not going to go anywhere. And so since that was 4th down, they're going to re-give it back to Dunsmuir, and that looks like it's going to be the conclusion of our ball game here in just a couple of minutes. So Dunsmuir will come away with the championship.
And I've won a high school championship before at the league level, and there's nothing quite like it. I mean, when you work all season for something, it's just incredible. They were the runners-up last year, so they have to feel like this is taking care of business and getting what they believe they should have gotten last year.
And it's also, the more in playoffs you go, the more heartbreaking a loss is.
Yes.
So when you get to the final game and you lose, and it wasn't a shutout by any means, so they have that to worry about. As number 24 gets to the outside, and they're adding insult to injury here as he's going to be pushed out to just about the 10-yard line.
That was Chase Sordahl again. He's been DeLucen's right-hand man in this game.
And so a 28-yard pickup. And so it's going to stop the clock at 1:36.
The chain gang's a little slow on the move to set up.
And so we're waiting for the chain gang. Like you said, 1:36 left in this ball game. And Dunsmuir is going to hand it off to DeClusen, who has the outside corner, but he's going to be taken down.
And at this point, they can just take a couple knees and be done with it.
And so David Griffin on the tackle there. And so he prevented another touchdown. So it's still going to be a 2nd and 5, or 2nd and goal. Oh, no, it's 2nd and 5. They can still get the first down without actually getting into the end zone. Sorry about that, Ron. And so under a minute to go. they might just be taking a knee here.
That's what their formation might indicate.
And they are not here. It's going to be a keeper by number 2, and he's going to try to get out to the outside, but he's going to run out of bounds here. And so he's going to stop the clock at 38.9.
I'm not really sure what the point of that it was. They could take a couple knees and
be done with it.
But I think they want to play to the whistle.
And so that moved them up just a little bit, and so it's going to be a 3rd and very short to try to get the first down here. And so they might run it up the middle to try to get that first down. And they're at about the 2-yard line. They might even get another touchdown here.
And there's the knee.
And so they're going to take the knee here. 38 seconds left. And so per high school rules, I think they get 40 seconds in between. And just about 15 seconds left here to go. And so he's going to take another knee. And that's going to be the end of our ball game.
And there are very excited Tigers running onto the field right now. And that's actually going to technically be a turnover on downs.
Oh, it says it's going to be a turnover on downs. It's going to be 4.4 left in the ball game. But it's pretty much over.
We'll get the players organized on the field.
And they're going to run off the clock here, and the Dunsmuir Tigers are going to win the championship. And so the Reading Christian Lions have been defeated here 34-15.
And you know they really have nothing to be ashamed of. I mean, they came out and fought their hardest without their starting quarterback and a man who consisted of over half of their offense. And there's definitely a bright future ahead for the Reading Christian Lions. But tonight the better team was the Dunsmuir Tigers, and they did what they needed to do, and they came out and dominated this game from start to finish and did what they wanted to do. And the head coach for Dunsmuir just got Gatorated, and he's got to feel good and bad at the same time because he's going to be freezing.
And so, ladies and gentlemen, we invite you to stay tuned to the PlayOnSports.com for our post-game coverage. We'll wrap up all the action in our post-game show, and we'll have an interview with our player of the game. Actually, that's going to be scratched since we're going to allow them to celebrate here. And so that's coming up in just a few moments. Once again, the Dunsmuir Tigers have claimed the Division VI North Section title by defeating the Red Christian Lions 34-15 on Friday Night Football on PlayOnSports.com, your destination for high school sports.
We can get a player up here. Oh, that's good stuff.
Perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play On School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
Okay, welcome back to Palo, Cedro, California, and the PlayOnSports.com post-game show. I'm Frank D'Arienzo alongside Adam Levine, and we just saw the Dunsmuir Tigers claim the Division VI championship, 8-man football, when they defeated the Reading Christian Lions by a score of 34-15. And what more can we say about that? It was the DeClusen show.
It really was. He just dominated this game from start to finish, and really left us with no choice about whether or not to give him the player of the game honors.
Right, and so he's going to be that's going to be the unofficial MVP here, but we'll definitely give him that title as he worked very hard. And as we hear the Lions run off, run off the field here, and so they're going to hang their heads in defeat. But this to keep their chin up since they've only went 13-1. They won 13 games in a row, but just lost this one. And so big ups to them this season.
Only their second season, too. They had an outstanding season. They have nothing to be ashamed of, and I wouldn't be surprised if they were right back here next season.
And so Dunsmuir has the top of them all here in 8-man football in Division 6 here in the northern section. And so what more can you say about that? That's going to wrap it up from Bishop Quinn Field, where the Dunsmuir Tigers are the Division 6 North Section 8-man champions. We'd like to thank you for joining PlayOnSports.com's coverage of Friday Night Football from Palo, Cedro, California. Be sure to check PlayOnSports.com for information and links to all of our upcoming North Section Championship broadcasts. For our producer, Ron Borges, our videographer, Daniel Luna, and my partner, Adam Levine, I'm Frank DiRienzo saying so long, and we hope you'll join us next Friday night for the final week of North Section football action on your destination for high school sports and Friday night football, PlayOnSports.com.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you.
One match away from immortality. One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you.
One shot.